Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jonas Scott. I'll be your host today on Pit Crew Entertainment, our very first video of this channel. We have one other host, Alex Fernandez. You'll be seeing him soon and hearing from him soon. This video today is a video about my top favorite cars. I will also be making a video on his top 5 favorite cars, probably the next video or the one after the next video. And at number 5, we're going to start with my 5th favorite car. Now you're probably expecting something a little nicer, obviously, but I figured, why not? Alright, so this is a front-wheel drive. So, front-wheel drive, 4-cylinder engine, full exhaust system, with a spoiler on the back. Now, the reason this is number 5 is a Chevy Cobalt LS 2006, by the way, 2006 model, sorry. Ugh, I know, okay, so something you have to learn about me is that I mistake my words sometimes or forget something, but I'll always go back and say it. Anyway, but there is one thing on this car that is stranger than on most cars, as the gas cap, as I call it, the little fuel tank where you put in the gas guzzle, is on the passenger side, not the driver's side. Very weird. But this car was the very first car I drove when I was, I believe, 15? Yes, 15 or 16, something like that. 14 maybe. I don't even know. It had to have been 14 or 15. Not the point. But yes, it's a great car. I love it. I can't drive it anymore. I got flooded in, and it's got a few safety issues. And that's a great car. So, alright, moving on to number 4. Alright, number 4 is the 1970s Monte Carlo. This is a great classic car. It's rear-wheel drive. It's got a V8 or V6, depending on which year, engine in it. I first saw this car while watching one of my favorite movies, Fast and Furious' Tokyo Drift. Now, I love the Fast and Furious series. Don't get me wrong, I'm super hyped for the 9th one. I'm so sorry. I'm thinking of May as the 4th month. April's the 4th month. But yes, so it's a great car. It's a manual transmission. It's got a 4-speed manual transmission. And I just love this car. It's one of my favorites. So, moving on to number 3, speaking of Fast and Furious. The Toyota Supra is in number 3. Now, my favorite model is the 1994 as used in the Fast and Furious 1, which would be named the Fast and the Furious, used by Paul Walker's character, Brian O'Connor. Rest in peace, Brian. And Paul, of course. It's got a V6 engine. It's a rear-wheel drive. And I believe it has a 4-speed manual as well, or a 6-speed, depending on what year you get. It's a great car. I saw it in the Fast and Furious, and I was like, it's okay. And then, once I actually realized how good Supras were, I was like, okay, I love this car. And I've always been loving it since. So, alright, on to number 2. Alright, on to number 2. Speaking of the Fast and Furious, again, for the 3rd car in a row, but I liked this car before I even saw it in the Fast and Furious, because if there's something you know about me, as we've seen earlier on this list, I love classic cars. And the 1970s Dodge Charger is one of my favorite cars of all time. Anytime I see this car on the road, this car, I know a lot of people see a Challenger, Dodge Challenger, even the newest ones, and like, oh, look at that old classic car. I'm like, no. Same build, same look, but it's not, believe me. A very easy way to tell is the Challengers have 2 lines on the front, and one of them has the word Challenger in it. So, anyway, so this car is a all-wheel drive, but can be converted to front wheel or rear wheel. Has a 3-speed manual and automatic variant, and a V8 engine that can be modified to an i6 engine. Very good car. I first saw this when I was young at car shows. I live in Texas, so we have what's called the State Fair, and they always had a car show. And when I was younger, of course, I wasn't as interested in it, because, when you're younger, you're not really thinking about driving. You're thinking about, mommy wins my snack, something like that, But, yes, so I love this car, and I'm going to move on to my number 1 car of all time. And for the number 1 on this list, we gave him a shout out earlier for one of his cars that he drove, and we figured it would be only right to do it here as well, so we got his own paint job for it. The Nissan Skyline GTR R34. This design made from Too Fast, Too Furious, the second movie in the Fast and Furious franchise. Great movie, one of my favorites in the franchise. I believe it is my favorite, actually, out of the franchise. And a lot of people give it hate, but that's something else. Apologies, I'm not the only one in the studio, as it seems. My brother's over here to visit. Let's see. So it's a 6 or 5 speed, depending on which year, transmission, manual. It is a rear-wheel drive with a V6 engine that can be upgraded to V8 depending on the model as well. Now this car, of course, I've seen in the Fast and Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, and I immediately fell in love with it, but I've also seen it at car meets locally. There are a few people with the Skyline. It's a beautiful car, beautiful piece of machinery, and it drives on the left side. Or the right side, excuse me, depending on which way you're looking at it. So, like, looking at this picture, the wheel's on the left side, but if you're in the car, it's on the right side. Something a JDM car, which means a Japanese domestic market car, would be. So, this is my top 5 favorites. We'll get Mr. Alex Fernandez's 5 in the next episode. I will probably call him right after I'm done recording this video to ask him what those are, write a list down, and I will tell you the facts about them, show you a picture, and all that. I already know what his #1 favorite car is, but I'm going to leave that for the video. So thank you guys. I hope you did enjoy this video. Please subscribe for more car information because we won't be doing just lists about our favorite cars. We'll be talking about cars, the history of cars, car parts, modifications, people that drive cars, stereotypes, all that good stuff. So please subscribe down below. Leave a comment on what your favorite cars are, if you liked any of these cars, and I will see you guys in our next video, either with me or Alex. Thank you, and have a good day or good night. And we will see you later. Drive safe, wear a seatbelt.